welcome to Hokie Nation. My name is Kinley Andrew. I am the coordinator for new student and family programs, and I use she, her pronouns.
Alicia Cohen. I use she, her pronouns also, and I am the Director of Diversity Programs and the Intercultural Engagement Center in the Office for Inclusion and Diversity.
Melissa Faircloth, she, her, and I serve as the Director for the American Indian and Indigenous Community Center.
Hi all, my name is Veronica Montes. I use she and her pronouns. I am the Director for El Centro. El Centro is our Hispanic and Latinx Cultural Center.
So we'll be starting with a short video that gives an introduction to all of the cultural and community centers. And then we will turn it over to our directors to talk a little bit more about what their specific center does.
Hello, my name is Melissa Faircloth, and I serve as the Director for the American Indian and Indigenous Community Center at Virginia Tech. I want to first say welcome new Hokies and families to the Virginia Tech community. I'm going to spend the next few minutes introducing you to the cultural and community centers here on campus. We are one of many units dedicated to supporting student experience and success. The cultural and community centers are a part of the Office for Inclusion and Diversity and are physically located in Squires Student Center. There are currently 6 centers: the Asian Cultural Engagement Center, the American Indian and Indigenous Community Center, the Black Cultural Center, the LGBTQ+ Resource Center, El Centro, and the Intercultural Engagement Center. Research shows that cultural centers create a sense of belonging for underrepresented student populations and are spaces which affirm diverse identities. The work of the centers contributes to a more positive campus climate through programming, facilitating dialogue across difference, and being involved in campus policy review. These spaces are not exclusive spaces and are regularly engaging majority students, faculty, and staff. Building cultural competence among majority populations and allies is an important part of the work to positively shape campus climate. Additionally, employers are demanding cultural competence among college graduates as they enter an increasingly diverse workforce. Being able to respectfully collaborate across difference is important to the success of our entire student population. In order to achieve the aforementioned outcomes, the CCCs focus on 3 major areas: awareness, advocacy, and advising. Awareness around identity and important social issues is cultivated through regular programs, History and Heritage Months, and social justice education. Advocacy can take the form of campus policy reviews, bias incident response, and community-driven response. All of our directors are involved in both one-on-one advising and the advising of affiliated student organizations. Directors also work with students to build their leadership capacity, a skill which students carry with them well into their professional years. The cultural and community centers consist of physical spaces for communities to gather, as well as the previously mentioned work, programs, and initiatives coordinated by center staff. It is also important to note that directors regularly collaborate on intersectional programming, as many of our students hold multiple identities. In the next few slides, I will talk briefly about each center. The American Indian and Indigenous Community Center was established in August of 2016. It is located in room 122 of Squires Student Center, which is just left of the welcome desk. Key programs for the AIICC include American Indian and Indigenous Heritage Month, Powwow, and Indigenous Peoples Day. The AIICC also serves as a point of connection between the institution and the 11 tribal communities of Virginia, pursuant of the UTPROSA motto, that I may serve. Center Director Melissa Faircloth advises Native at VT, which is the Native and Indigenous student organization on campus. You may find them on Instagram by searching @VT_natives. If using Facebook, look for Native at Virginia Tech. The Asian Cultural Engagement Center is also located on the first floor of Squires in room 140. It was established in June of 2017. The center is directed by Dr. Nina Ha, and some of their major programs include Mask On, Mask Off series, a PETA Heritage Month, and a Learning Lunch series. Dr. Ha advises our Asian American Student Union at Virginia Tech. AASU can be found on Instagram at AASUVT. If searching on Facebook, search VTAASU. Established in 1991, the Black Cultural Center is in room 126 of Squires on the first floor. Key programs include Black Liberation Talks, cultural excursions, and Black History Month. The center is directed by Dr. Kimberly Clark Shaw. Dr. Clark Shaw also advises BAC, our Black Organizations Council. BAC can be found on Instagram at VT_BOC, or if searching on Facebook, search BOCVT. On the third floor of Squires, you will find El Centro, which supports our Latinx community on campus. El Centro was established in August of 2016 and is located in room 309. Key programs include Hispanic Latinx Heritage Month, Comida y Comunidad, and the Latinx Symposium. The center is directed by Ms. Veronica Montes. Ms. Montes also advises LASO, the Latino Association of Student Organizations. You can find LASO on Instagram at LASO_VT. If searching on Facebook, LASOVT. Ms. Alicia Cohen directs the Intercultural Engagement Center at Virginia Tech. Opened in June of 2017, the IEC is dedicated to a focus on student leadership development, broader diversity and social justice education, and engaging majority populations. You can find the IEC in Squires Room 150. Ms. Cohen also advises JSU, the Jewish Student Union. You can find JSU on Facebook by searching Jewish Student Union of Virginia Tech. Finally, we have the LGBTQ+ Resource Center. It is located on the second floor of Squires in room 227. The center, which opened in August of 2016, coordinates LGBTQ+ History Month, Pride Week, Safe Zone trainings, community support group, and Transgender Day of Remembrance. Dr. Ashley Bingham directs the center. Dr. Bingham also advises the LGBTQ+ student organization, Hokie Pride. You can find Hokie Pride on Instagram at Hokie Pride of VT. You can also find them on Facebook, Hokie Pride of VT. Please do not hesitate to reach out to any of our center directors to learn more about becoming involved with the center or affiliated student organization. Their emails are listed here. You can also learn more by visiting ccc.vt.edu. We are excited to have you join the larger Hokie community.
All right, so if y'all would like to take over and talk a little bit more about what each of your centers do and programs they provide.
Sure. So I guess I can start. Again, my name is Melissa Faircloth. I use she, her pronouns, and I direct the American Indian and Indigenous Center. One thing we probably should note from that presentation, I see Alicia nodding her head, is we have a new director for the Black Cultural Center. Her name is Kimberly Clark Shaw, and she is doing an amazing job. For the American Indian Center, some of our signature programs, as mentioned, and I'll elaborate on a few others, we're currently planning our annual Spring Powwow, which is a collaboration between the center and Native at VT student organization, which I advise. The powwow is going to be held on April 23rd, starting at noon, and it runs to about 4 or 5 o'clock, and it's open to the public. So that particular event is just a really great cultural kind of expo to really introduce people to Native dance traditions, Native song traditions, and MCs that we've invited every year do a really great job of educating folks on cultural awareness around Indigenous communities. We have a lot of participation from state tribes, of which we have 11 in Virginia, but we also have participation from tribes in other states, including North Carolina. We've had folks come from as far as upstate New York. So we've had really folks come from all over the Eastern region. We have our Heritage Month and Indigenous Peoples Day, which happens in the fall. Indigenous Peoples Day is usually a day-long program, huge celebration event. It usually consists of some type of artistic program. We've had concerts in the past. We've had Delana Sudi give a play last year. And so there's usually offerings all day for Indigenous Peoples Day, and that really kicks off our Heritage Month, which runs from October 15th through November 15th. One thing that kind of lies outside of programming that I would really want Native students to know about is our grant initiative that includes peer mentoring to start in the fall, as well as the elder and residence program that will start this spring in April. So that's a little bit from us and what you can expect other than annual programs. We have things that happen in the spring and the fall. We have our signature things, but we also have one-off things throughout the semester. And the grant is something that we're really excited to really start building student support. So just want to make students aware of that.
I can go next. Again, my name is Veronica Montes. I am the director for El Centro. And after the presentation, maybe I want you to be sure that all the centers are physical spaces. We are all in the Squires, and if you decide to come to Virginia Tech, you will see Squires is like our student center. We have like a lot of student space for you to study, and one of those spaces are the different community centers. El Centro is on the 3rd floor, for that is kind of height, but all the center you will find like a nice space to just maybe have a meeting, to be with friends. But the purpose specific for the Centro is just to create that space of belonging. They are open for everybody. But if you are curious about the Latinx community, or if you are identified as Latinx, you're more than welcome to come. All our events, what we try to do with those is to create awareness about the community, but also to educate about the community and advocate for our students. All the programs that we do are to support every individual and social and cultural and academic well-being of all our VT Latinx community. And we help to navigate to maybe you're just right now start identifying as Latinx. For that, we do a lot of heritage exploration. I don't know, dialogue, art, different social events. Some of our signature events are Comida y Comunidad. It's like every month, and it's very informal for us. If you're here, come, like usually are like second Wednesday of each month, and it's just free food, but also the opportunity to get to know other students, faculty, staff. We also do every year a Latinx symposium. It's kind of a conference where we explore really what it means to be a college student who also identify as Latinx here at VT, but also in the whole area and the country and during these times. We do a lot of guest speaker series. We do movies. We, like every other center, we celebrate Heritage and History Month. And during that month, is September 15 to October 15, we do a lot of stuff, from like a big welcome barbecue, gala. I think I always say that we don't do a lot of programs or events, but during those months, I think we host around like 40 events. For that, there's, I think you will find wherever you like to see, and if not, we can find something. If you're curious about something, we can create something together. When you're on campus, don't forget to tag our Global Connect, and you will find a lot of student orgs. Some of them identify as Latinx. For example, we have LASO, like we mentioned before, we have Latin Link, we have more professional student orgs that maybe if you try to go to journalist or business, you will find out org that also identify as Latinx, but in a profession, with a professional lens. And what else? I am across the Cultural Center. For that, if you need any help, I am in Squires too. And also you can get my email if you have any question before you come to campus.
Okay, so again, I'm Alicia Cohen, she, her pronouns, director of the Intercultural Engagement Center. This center is a little bit different than the other centers. So I do advise an organization, the Jewish Student Union, and they support the programming for Jewish Awareness Month, which is from March 15th to April 15th. So we're in the middle of that right now. Not as much programming comes from the IEC. It is more focused on diversity education. So I do a lot of customized workshops for students, faculty, and staff. A lot of student organizations will have requests, and I customize sessions to meet whatever their needs might be. We also support the required online module, diversity, equity, and inclusion, that students will need to complete in August, probably. I think that's when the email will go out from EverFi. We do have in the fall, it has traditionally been Inclusive VT Week. I think we're going to try and make it an entire month in September, and it is all about providing opportunities for people to connect with one another, to feel like they are included and belong. So departments, colleges, units, etc. Lots of programming, usually some speakers. And then in the spring, we have Principles of Community Week that focus on our principles of community. And we often have speakers again and encourage organizations and units to sponsor events during Principles of Community. That's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for being here, for talking more about your spaces. For those who are watching, definitely check out the different spaces that we have. Like Vera mentioned, Inspire Student Center, a few of the directors were not able to be here for the webinar today, but they are definitely awesome resources who do some really cool programming throughout the year as well. And then for the other resource center that was mentioned in the video, we will be having an LGBTQ Resource Center webinar on April 12th. So be sure to check that out on our website as well. But do y'all have anything else that you would like to add before we wrap up?
I don't think so, except for to mention that for our colleagues that were not able to make it, Dr. Bing, who is the director for the LGBTQ+ Resource Center, is in the midst of Pride Week this week. And Dr. Nina Hall is kicking off APITA Heritage Month. And then we just wrapped, of course, Black History Month in February. So all of those centers do have robust programming each semester.
Thank you. All right, well, thank you so much for your time. We hope that this was helpful, and be sure to reach out to these wonderful directors, as well as get engaged with the space when you get onto campus in the fall.